Hello and welcome to the channel.
Hello, I am Dr. Mohammad Shaukat Ansari. Cordial welcome to the channel Learn English Language Skills with Shaukat Ansari. In this particular lesson, you will learn how to and where to use two significant modal verbs should should and ougst ought to ought to. Here I must tell you that should and ought to, these two modal verbs are same in meaning, are same in implications, are same in giving message. Okay? For example, you should respect your elders. And in another way, you can say by using ought to, you ought to respect your elders. So first, you should respect your elders, should respect. And next example, you ought to. This is the only one modal verb where to is also used before verb 1, where infinitive form of verb is used. Okay, so remember the difference. Should respect, ought to respect. However, in my opinion, should is commonly used modal verb. It sounds pretty, it sounds comfortable when you use should in sentences, when you speak or when you write. But ought to, in my opinion, is a bit awkward. It is less spoken, it is less common, and also it is an old-fashioned modal verb too. So my dear good students, in my opinion, it's better to use should in maximum sentences when you speak or when you write. Now come to the rules pertaining to the usage of should. Rule number 1, should is used for giving instruction, for giving direction. For example, you should be regular in classes. Next example, you should enter the meeting hall by 10 a.m. sharp. In these two sentences, there are instructions. Okay. Now come to the rule number 2, should or shouldn't. I mean should, should not, not. Should not, in contact form you can say shouldn't. So should or shouldn't is used to give advice, to place advice, okay, to put forth advice. For instance, you should not insult your seniors. You should not. But in contract form, you can say you shouldn't insult your seniors. Next example, you should buy the shirt in green. You should buy the shirt in green. It suits you. Here again, there is a suggestion. There is a preference. There is an advice. Okay. Now rule number 3. Should is employed in sentence to express general opinion. To put forth general opinion such as, everyone should see that film, it's amazing. Everyone should see that film, it's amazing. So here opinion is being placed. Opinion is being mentioned. Opinion is being referred to. Next example, people should use mask. People should wear mask in the face of surging coronavirus. People should use mask in the face of surging coronavirus. An opinion is being placed, okay, in the face of surging corona pandemic. Okay. Now rule number 4. Should is employed in sentences to spell out obligation or recommendation. Obligation or recommendation. Such as, you should finish your work before you go home. It means you are obliged to, you are duty bound, you are responsible for finalizing the work before you go home. So a sort of duty, a sort of responsibility you have to execute, you have to carry out, you have to finalize. So my dear good learners, examples for obligation or recommendation, you should finish your work before you go home. Next example, you should obey the law. You should obey the laws of the land. A sort of responsibility, a sort of duty, a sort of obligation, a sort of recommendation. Okay. Now rule number 5, pertaining to the uses of should. Should can be used to indicate expectations about future events. Expectations about future events. Such as, Catherine has been studying hard. She should do well on the test tomorrow. So it is a high expectation that tomorrow she should do the best on the test. Okay, I repeat, Catherine has been studying hard. She should do well on the test tomorrow. So here expectation is being placed. It is being put forth. Okay. Now next rule pertaining to the uses of should. Should is employed in sentences when there is 90% of certainty, 90% of expectations. Okay. For example, Reshmi should do well on the test. Reshmi should do well on the test. Here the speaker is almost sure, almost certain, almost confident. Okay. Another example, I trust she should obtain excellent marks over her presentation. I trust she should obtain excellent marks over her presentation. Okay. So here high expectation is being referred to. So this is the first phase. Now move to the second phase of this lesson, of this video. Uses of ought to. However, at the outset of this lesson, of this lecture, I had told you that ought to is an old-fashioned modal verb. Rule number 1. Ought to is used to express desirability, responsibility, or obligation. Desirability, responsibility, or obligation. For example, we ought to help the needy people. We ought to help the needy people. Next example, we ought to care for our old parents. We ought to care for our old parents. So rule number 2, now let's move to rule number 2 pertaining to the uses of ought to. Ought to is also used for giving advice, for giving exhortation, suggestion. Okay. For instance, drivers ought to obey the speed limit. What is the example? Drivers ought to obey the speed limit. Next example, you ought to study harder. You ought to study harder. So advice is being given. Okay, advice is being enforced here. Okay, now the last rule pertaining to the uses of ought to can be used to indicate expectations about future events. Expectations about future events. Faria has been studying hard. Faria has been studying hard. She ought to do well on the test tomorrow. Faria has been studying hard. She ought to do well on the test tomorrow. So my dear good learners, my dear good students, thanks a lot for watching this video, for being with me. And before I say goodbye, I must urge you all that you subscribe to this channel in order to continue your studying English with me, and also to meet your educational aspirations. So so goodbye to all of you. Stay connected with this channel, and I will be back with some important lesson. So see you. Bye bye.